Calvin Lurie, we are waiting for this news conference to begin. You are right. And right now, we're actually getting a lot of information from the arrest report that was just released a short time ago. In fact, according to the arrest report, investigators say that Cruz was carrying a black duffel bag, a black backpack, and somebody saw him walking purposefully toward the school. That's the term that was used in the arrest report. And that is when they alerted authorities. That's when a code red was issued. And that is when kids started running. Also, according to the arrest report, we understand that after the shooting took place, after the fire alarm was pulled and kids started running, according to the arrest report, Cruz then ditched that AR and he started running with the kids. And Calvin Lurie, you remember when we saw video of him, he was wearing a maroon shirt. That is the color of the shirt of Douglas High School. It was a Douglas High Junior ROTC shirt that he was wearing. He couldn't get very far, though. He ended up in the neighborhood just southwest of the school. That's where somebody saw him, and authorities took him down without incident. He did not put up a fight. Then, of course, as you know, he was taken to the hospital, and today he faced a bond court judge. We saw him today. He did not say much other than, "Yes, ma'am," when the judge asked him to confirm his name. And he was taken away in shackles. He's been charged with 17 counts of premeditated first-degree murder, and he has been given no bond. Let's take a look at some of the events from today. You got it, no problem. Again, Cruz was given no bond, so he remains behind bars. We're also learning a little bit more about where he was living at the time. He was living with a family friend in Pompano Beach, we understand. This is all according to that arrest report. Apparently, he had his own room in the home. That is where he allegedly kept that AR. And yesterday, the homeowner realized that the gun was gone. And so police say that Cruz admitted that he used that gun to open fire on this school, killing 17 people. So again, right now, Calvin Lurie, we are waiting for the sheriff's office and for other authorities to come and speak to us. Presumably, we're going to learn more about the timeline of things and what exactly happened. The timeline, of course, will give us more information and more insight into how he was able to arrive. It looks like people are starting to maybe come to the podium, so we are watching, and as soon as this news conference starts, we will let you know. Well, I think that's going to be a huge question, Calvin, because we've heard from students yesterday. We heard from kids who said something wasn't right about him. We also heard from the superintendent who said that he had some behavioral issues, and we understand, too, from our Bob Norman's reporting that he was ping-ponged around from school to school. Why he wasn't flagged for any mental health issues, we don't know. We also do know that the FBI was looking into reports of that potentially explosive statement that was made on a YouTube post that was called into the FBI. According to the person who noticed that comment that said something to the effect of, "I'm going to be a school shooter," it was investigated, but it was never traced back to Nikolas Cruz, or at least the person who is presumed to be this school shooter. So there are going to be a lot of questions about how to connect the dots. Obviously, and we spoke about this yesterday, hindsight is 2020, but it seems as though there were a lot of issues with this young man, and why he presumably fell through the cracks, we don't know. So those are going to be a lot of questions that are going to be answered, and we will of course see if there are any potential solutions to make sure that something like this doesn't happen again. Of course, you're looking live. You can see Superintendent Robert Runcie is right here, Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz, members of the Broward Sheriff's Office and other law enforcement officials are here. Hopefully they will be, it looks as though they're getting briefed right now. They're sort of speaking among themselves, and we will be hearing from them. And we'll be hearing from them about, not only the timeline of what exactly happened, but Calvin, you said it, what could potentially be done to prevent something like this from happening again.
The speakers are going to be right here. Everybody else is a little bit to the side. So they moved it back. We do. That's when we put that one major right there. So the situation earlier today, when someone stepped here, because the entourage is so close, it pushed the speaker there. So if we could respectfully ask that when the speaker steps forward, everyone stay back and let them have room. And then the next speaker comes up and we can have the sheriff come. That way it works better for everybody and you're all comfortable. Thank you guys for your cooperation. Okay? So we have four speakers. So if we're going to have all the speakers on the first row, and if we can have everybody at least one step back. Thank you guys so very much. The speakers need to be in the front.
Good afternoon.
You know what, Calvin, I'm going to interrupt
As I said
you.
earlier, we're here to conduct a law enforcement
Calvin,
briefing tonight.
I'm going to interrupt you
I'm going to
because
start
the
off by
sheriff
giving
is
you a
starting right now.
timeline and talk about the events that happened yesterday. I'm then going to introduce Peter Forcelli, the SAC of ATF, and he's going to talk about the origin of the rifle. And then lastly, you'll hear from a special agent in charge of the FBI, Rob Lasky, and he's going to expound a little bit more on the tip. Then I'll come back to the podium, we'll answer some questions. So I wanted to start out by telling you an Uber car dropped off the suspect at 2019 yesterday, 2:19 p.m. at Stoneman Douglas High School. The suspect entered the east stairwell, that's building 12, with a rifle inside a black, soft case. The suspect exited the stairwell, pulled the rifle out of the case. At 2:21 hours and 33 seconds, the suspect readied his rifle and began shooting into rooms 1215, 1216, 1214. He went back to 1216, back to 1215, and then to 1213. The suspect then took the west stairwell to the second floor and shot one victim in room 1234 on the second floor. The suspect then took the east stairwell to the third floor. He dropped his rifle and backpack, ran down the stairs. He exited building 12 and ran towards the tennis courts, and then took a southbound turn on foot. The suspect crossed fields and ran west, along with others who were fleeing, and tried to mix in with the group that were running away, fearing for their lives. The suspect arrived at the Walmart store. He bought a drink at the Subway and then left the Walmart on foot. The suspect went to McDonald's, sat down for a short period of time. This was at 3:01 p.m. and he left on foot. At 3:41 p.m., 40 minutes after he departed from the McDonald's, the suspect was detained at 4700 Wyndham Lakes Drive in Coral Springs by an officer from the Coconut Creek Police Department. He was taken into custody without incident. Today, we've interviewed between the FBI, the Broward Sheriff's Office, and a significant amount of investigators from many other agencies FDLE, a lot of local law enforcement. So over 2,000 people were interviewed, and we continue. This is a fluid investigation. We have so many facts coming in, some true, some unsubstantiated, some rumors. It's going to take a lot of time to sift through what's true, what's accurate, and what's not. I wanted to honor the deceased victims of this horrific killing. I'm going to do my best to pronounce the names accurately. Please forgive me if I don't pronounce the names exactly how the families do, but I thought it's very important. I want to pay homage to these families and to the victims. Carmen Schentrup, Mel Pollock, Peter Wang, Nicholas Dworet, Christopher Hickson, my very, very, very special friend who I'll miss, Aaron Feiss, Luke Hoyer, Alana Petty, Jamie Gutenberg, Martin Duque Anguiano, Alyssa Aladef, Helena Ramsey, Scott Beagle, Joaquin Oliver, Carol Loughran, Gina Montalto, and Alexander Schachter. May they rest in peace. May God comfort their families. At this time, Special Agent in charge of ATF, Peter Forcelli, will speak about the firearm.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the men and women from ATF, I want to extend my condolences to the families of the victims and to the people of the community. And I also ask that you keep in your thoughts and prayers the first responders who responded out to this scene. 30 plus years in law enforcement, I can tell you it was a difficult one. The firearm that was utilized in this event was purchased lawfully here in the state of Florida just short of a year ago by the individual who was charged with this crime. We're here to help the Broward County Sheriff's Office follow up on any leads that may pertain to the firearm or anything else that they need. I ask that you keep the folks who responded to this scene, as well as the families of the victims, in your thoughts and prayers as we get through these difficult days. Thank you.
Special Agent in charge, Lasky, addressed some of the questions you had today about tips received regarding the suspect. Mr. Lasky is going to expound upon some of that information.
Good afternoon. I'd like to take this opportunity to provide some additional information about the tip we spoke about this morning. On September 25th, 2017, the FBI field office in Jackson, Mississippi, received a tip about a comment posted to a YouTube account by someone with the username Nicholas Cruz, spelled Nikolascruz. The comment said, "I'm going to be a professional school shooter." There was no additional information about the particular time, location, or further identifiers about the person who posted the comment. The complainant had provided the same information to YouTube. YouTube removed the comment. After receiving this information, FBI Jackson conducted an interview of the person who made the complaint. This person lives in Mississippi, has no connection to South Florida, and has no knowledge about the person who posted the comment. The FBI also conducted internal database reviews and open source checks. No additional information was found to positively identify the person who posted this comment. There was no connection found to South Florida. Moving forward, we will continue to gather all information about the subject as we try to identify his motives, his associates, and his actions leading up to yesterday's events. We are looking into his social media posts, his movements, his conversations leading up to the shooting, and any other indicators that may be out there. Again, my heart goes out to the victims, the families, and the friends, and everybody else who suffered by this cowardly and horrific act. Sheriff.
I want to take this opportunity to thank this amazing group of people flanking me, your elected officials, who came from places as far as Washington, D.C., Tallahassee, and just came down here. The calls I've received from Congresswoman Wasserman Schultz, from Mayor Beam Furr, Michael Udine, Commissioner, and on and on and on. I can't thank them enough. They just want to see safety in Broward County. To all of you, thank you. We will be going over, I will be going over at 6 o'clock tonight to Pine Trails to a vigil for those that passed away. I know some of you are going to heed my remarks, and I know some of you are not, but I'm going to say them anyway. You need to respect the privacy of these families. These families are going through the most horrific time in their lives. And if they say they don't want to talk to you, respect them. Don't move forward with your camera. Don't move forward with your microphone. Let these families be. Let these families heal. They deserve that. Please honor them. Many of them have called me and asked me to transfer this message, and I hope you'll consider listening. Many of you would have done it anyway. Some of you might not. Please respect these families. They lost children. They lost loved ones. Could you imagine what they're going through? Thank you for your time. Any questions?
Did he belong to a white nationalist group? Is he able to confirm that once claiming him as a member?
It's not confirmed at this time. There's so much. We've heard that. We're looking into that. And we'll just keep following on.
Did he speak to anyone at the McDonald's, and have you interviewed that person? If so,
He might have. I don't know at this time.
Two questions. First of all, would that make this a hate crime? And also, you had mentioned yesterday 2 people shot outside the school. How does that fit into the narrative?
Well, it fits in perfectly. He could have shot them. He could have been within the school. They could have been outside. You know, this is an AR-15. This is a powerful rifle, and could have easily gone through a door or shot while the door was open. So we're still examining video. It's a great question. It's something we've asked ourselves. Within a day or two, we will have the exact, answer to that. But at this time, it doesn't change or alter the timeline at all.
If it turns out that he was a member of this white nationalist group, would that classify any of these?
It certainly could.
the rooms that were targeted, were they targeted?
Yes, he bought the weapon in Coral Springs at a dealership called Sunrise Tactical. No, I didn't mention release. I didn't talk about releasing any video. We're examining video, and we might release information we recover or capture from the video. But at this time, we have no plans to release any type of surveillance video. I also want to acknowledge Superintendent Runcie. He's been with us from the.
Sure.
Yes. Yeah. I'm just gonna give way to the mic to Superintendent Runcie. He has some important things to say, and then I'll come back to the microphone.
Let me just first say, on behalf of the school board members and myself, our school board members here today, just reiterating what the sheriff has said. Please respect the privacy of our families as they go through this horrific situation. Again, we can't stress that enough. If you could honor them and respect them during these very difficult times. We've had hundreds of people today that have gone through our crisis services that we provided at several locations, 2 here in Parkland, 2 in Coral Springs. We'll continue to provide those tomorrow and the next day as necessary. Again, the school is closed from now throughout the weekend. We're going to be spending the next couple days figuring out what the path is to reopen the school and what type of logistical challenges we're going to have relative to what's occurred in Building 12 on this site. Once that information becomes available, we will be providing it out to the parents and the families in the community and the media as well. Again, thank you for respecting our families. Give them the space and time to grieve and get through this very difficult time.
Sheriff, is there a reason you targeted certain rooms? You seem to have gone to specific rooms and then upstairs. Have you found any reason for that?
That's what our detectives and that's what the FBI are doing. We're interviewing him. We'll be speaking to him and gathering that information. But I can't enlighten you on that right now.
How did you know what
Well, he was dropped off by an Uber vehicle. And let me say this, at this point, the driver is not complicit in any way, shape, or form. The driver just simply picked up a fare and dropped the fare off at Stone. He walked into the school, and I don't know that anybody recognized him or knew who he was or that one. I don't know anything. I don't know anything at this time.
Sir, the security said that there were still remains inside the school.
Do you have any reason to believe that a family member or anybody may have assisted him in this?
At this point, we have no reason. There are other people we want to certainly talk to. There are people of interest that might enlighten us as to why he did what he did. But at this point, at this time, there's no accomplice or nobody else that we're looking at from that perspective.
When you were a student here, was you required to make
no mention of what Senator
I'm sorry, you're talking.
What Senator Nelson mentioned yesterday about him wearing a gas mask and a bulletproof vest. No mention of that as we convey the timeline. Can you tell us anything more about that, whether that's true or not, or when?
No.
Off or on?
No, I have no reason to believe it. I haven't seen the videos yet. I'm going to be briefed tomorrow on that, but I don't know that he had a mask on at any time.
When he was a student here, was he required to carry his belongings in a clear bag because of fear of the teachers that he might bring a weapon into the school?
I've never heard that before.
Sir, this morning you said there were still remains inside the school. Have they been taken from the school, and has the school been cleared yet?
All the victims are at the medical examiner's office, and right now the medical examiner is doing a thorough investigation. As I said before, we want to release the victims to their families. We understand that the Sabbath is tomorrow, and we're very cognizant of that. But the main thing we want to do is we want to make sure there's a successful prosecution, and we want to go as fast as we can, but accurate is better than speedy.
Sure. And is the school still being inspected, or is that an inspection?
The school is a crime scene, and we're examining the crime scene. Thank you. That I read out? No. Some are. There's a team. There are adults on the list as well.
Has the family he was staying with said anything? Did they noticed anything like that? Believe that he was staying in?
I'm not sure at this time. That's something that we'll examine. I've never heard that the first gentleman you named. I've never heard his name before. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.